Another loss and another game where the St. Louis Blues do not look like they're even trying.
Hey, this is Braden Chen.
Subscribe to Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to Locked On Blues. I am your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues here in the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today on Locked On Blues, I'm going to talk to you about another bad loss that the Blues had. This time it was to the Pittsburgh Penguins, who have honestly been playing some great hockey, but it was definitely a winnable game for the Blues. And listen, at this point, I am so incredibly frustrated. And I have reiterated that so many times on this podcast because at the end of the day, and we're going to get into it, this is unacceptable hockey. This is bad hockey. And most importantly, this is not Blues hockey. So we're going to dive into all of that. But I do want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. I hope all of you are having a much better day than the St. Louis Blues after yet again a really disappointing performance by the guys in blue. It was an ugly loss. As I stated, it was a preventable loss. But most importantly, it was a loss that now extends this team's losing streak. That is right, the Blues have now lost 4 games in a row. And you might think to yourself, Hale, that's not that bad. Okay, the Blues are still in last place in the Central, which just goes to show that there's other teams that are surpassing them that should not be, like the Blackhawks for one, and the Predators. The point is, the Blues, they're not doing good. They're one of the worst teams in the NHL. Yeah, this is not the team that we were promised or expected. So the frustration is real. It was an awful loss because not even a minute in, Brian Rust and Anthony Mantha were able to both score. Okay, making it 2-0, and there was only 2 shots on goal at that point, right? Then Nick Buxa and then Jordan Kyrou were able to tie up the game after the first frame, essentially. It was a lot of goals, right? So it's 2-2 heading into the second frame. Penguins score, right? 3-2. And you think for maybe a second, hey, maybe the Blues, they can come back and they can win. Because, you never know. It's not that bad. It gets bad. Russ scores again. Mojo scores, right? So now it's 4-3 in favor of Pittsburgh. But then Sidney Crosby and Malkin are able to score, and that is the Penguins winning 6-3. And it was bad. It was really bad. Like, really, really bad. And again, you might be wondering, Hale, like, how bad? Well, it was bad to the point where I have to tell you, Joel Hofer just doesn't look like himself in net. And I know what you're going to say, oh my gosh, you're blaming the goalie. You should be blaming the defenseman. I am blaming the defenseman, mind you. But it is also my due diligence, my friends, to also let you know that the goalie that we have in net last night, who was Joel Hofer, did not, and let me reemphasize, did not play a good game. I think it's fair for me to say that it is okay for you and I to be frustrated. It is okay for you and I to feel flustered, to feel overwhelmed maybe by how poorly this team is playing. And in the first minute of the contest, when your goalie is unable to stop the 2 shots on net that both result in goals, yeah, as much as it is the defense's fault, and I'm not going to deny that in any single way because it is, I also can't say that there's not something going on with Hof. And I know that he will be fine eventually. And I want him to be fine because I really do like Joel Hofer a lot. I have said this so many times. And I don't know how many times I can emphasize how much I do like him. But he is not playing well, and he is not playing the way that we're used to seeing him play. And it's frustrating. It's confusing for one. Like, I am confused because I don't know why he is playing this way. I don't get it. It doesn't really seem like him, right? But at the same time, I mean, what else is there to say or do? We're in a situation as a team, right? This is a team situation where they can't figure it out. Is it the swagger? Is it just the lack of talent? Because they do have talent. And I think that's where it becomes incredibly frustrating because if you look at the Blues, this team as a whole, right? You have so many talented players. That is why that conversation of is there enough talent frustrates me, I think, a little bit more just because I have talked to you so much. I know that he didn't play last night, but about Robert Thomas as an example, about how he, in my opinion, is one of the best players in the NHL. And I know he didn't play last night, by the way. Jake Neighbors is on IR. So again, the one of the only players that actually put effort in, so that sucks. Um, we have Colton Parayko, right, who's supposed to be on Team Canada for the Olympics. So I feel like there are so many players, right, that we expect a lot out of. We also expect a lot of the guys that wear letters. And, Shenner had a great pass to Ruzi for that one goal. For those who don't know, I'm talking about Braden Shen, who's the captain, and then Ruzi is Jordan Kyer, for those that don't know. And it did result in a really fantastic goal. But when it comes to other players, and I know who I'm talking about, which is Justin Folk, I just don't see him improving. I don't. We kind of all know. Oh my gosh, my cat is eating my pocketbook. We all know, hey, Carmella, she's putting in more effort than the Blues are. Wow, that was kind of gnarly, actually. But we all know how I feel about him. And we all know I'm not a fan of him. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure that one out, right? I have made that very clear. I have talked about that so many times about my feelings towards him. However, I still root for every single player on the team to do well because I care about the Blues as a whole. Okay? When I look at this team and I look at weak links, I can't help but point him out because he is the player to me that doesn't do enough. So, with that being said, here is Justin Folk after the game last night talking about, well, you'll see, and you'll see why I'm a little bit annoyed.
So obviously a little bit of a slow start there, but did you like seeing the team's resiliency to keep fighting and keep trying to come back?
It was good to get back in the game after the slow start, like you said. That's a sign of a group that was going to keep pushing, and we know where we're at. We know we have to push, and we have to grind to get out of the funk we're in. But the starts are definitely an issue, and we got to clean those up. And start of the third period was another. They got another one on us, so we got to be able to come out after intermissions or the start of the game and be much more dialed in on what we need to do to. You just got to create momentum. You can't be giving up goals, and it's something we definitely have to keep working and fix.
Monty said this morning that he wanted a hard checking game tonight. You guys had a lot of hits, more than Pittsburgh. How do you think you guys followed through on that?
Definitely could have been better. I think we gave them too much time through the neutral zone and in the D zone. They were kind of holding on to pucks a lot and making plays, and we weren't putting an end to it. Put an end to it, we can get some more time in the O-zone and create our own chances. So it's a part of a game, or part of the game that we want to be real good at, and there's always room for improvement. And I would say there's probably every part of our game right now needs to be another level.
And obviously Thomas and Neighbors are big parts of the offense. How do you guys kind of adjust with them out, especially on things like the power play where they're a big part?
It's tough. Two impact players, obviously both on the power play and drive things two different ways. Jake, the way he competes, and Tomer, he can make plays and make things happen out of nothing. And it's tough to miss those guys, but it happens throughout the year. Every team battles injuries at certain times, and someone has to step up and fill a void. And a lot of times it takes the whole group to be dialed in when you're missing two impact players, and that's what we're going to need. We're going to need all 20 guys in the lineup every night to be sharp and be on top of their game to get us going.
And quick turnaround, obviously another game back at home tomorrow. What do you kind of take out of this, and what is the mindset going into that game?
Sometimes it's nice. We can flush this one and then get right back to work tomorrow night. We know we need to be better, and the team we're playing, we just had them the other night, and we still got a sour taste in our mouth from that one. So we'll be ready to go tomorrow, and we're expecting a better performance.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Okay, Justin, a better performance. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to talk about how I feel like there is no hope. We're also going to listen to Monty, and we're going to also listen to Kairu about what they had to say. But I want to tell you about my friends over at Monarch Money. He is so, I'm not going to say anything mean. Let's be honest, most of us can't even name all of our financial accounts, let alone what they're worth. Between 401ks, savings, and investments, it's easy to lose track. That can even leaving money on the table. That's why I started using Monarch, all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy to use interface on your laptop or your phone. It's helped me organize all my accounts, track my spending, and get a better handle on my investments without having to touch a spreadsheet. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks, and use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarch.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarch.com. Code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year. I don't feel like there's any hope. And I'm going to play for you Jordan Kyrou now, who did get a goal in last night's contest. So, I mean, again, shout out to Jordan Kyrou. But at the same time, this team still has a bunch of issues. So let's listen to Kyrou, and I'm going to talk about why there's no hope.
Bit of a slower start tonight, but good to see the team find that resiliency and get back in it and keep fighting.
Yeah, tough start tonight, but I mean, it's good we battled back, and I know we've been saying this, but we got to play a full game out here.
And then pretty physical game tonight. You guys had a lot of hits. Monty said he wanted a hard checking game. Do you think you followed through on that plan?
Yeah, I mean, I think we could have been more physical as a group. We kind of give them a little too much time and space sometimes, so yeah, we just got to be better with that.
And then obviously it's tough without Robert and Jake. How do you kind of replace that offensively when you're missing those two guys, and especially also on the power play?
Yeah, they're both two key players for us, so a lot of guys just got to step up and just fill those roles, and we just got to be better as a group.
And quick turnaround tomorrow night. What's the mindset when you have that quick of a turnaround after?
Just have a good start. We're going to be checking, playing competitive, playing hard for a full 60.
Thanks, Jordan.
He looks so defeated. So do I, though. Yeah, no, his answer basically just kind of summed up how I feel about this whole situation of, yeah, this team's defeated. They have no motivation. And it just makes me even more concerned about the contest tonight. Like, that was a very defeated looking Jordan Kyrou, and I was not a fan of it. I didn't like it. I felt like that was the epitome of, hey, we kind of gave up on everything that we kind of had going for us. So, not a fan. Don't like it. Don't like it at all, actually. Like, let's keep it 100. I thought that was actually a really bad post-game kind of talking, just because I figure that when you're talking during the post-game, media scrum, you should look like you have a little bit more life to you, but this team just looks so lifeless and they look so defeated. So with that being said, here's the head coach, Coach Montgomery.
Just to start, overall thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, poor start. Made a couple of mistakes in the first 2 minutes, and their top two lines made us pay.
Do you like seeing that resiliency, though, from the team to come back and tie it and keep fighting?
Yeah, it was great. We tied up 2-2, and then we got a push. In the second period, we didn't push well enough, to be able to take the lead and have them chase the game.
And then Joseph obviously got a goal tonight. He's been pretty noticeable this season. What do you think he's doing differently this season that is seeing that success and being able to move him up the lineup?
He's skating well. He's checking well. He's taking pucks to the blue paint.
Kyrou's point streak was extended to 7 tonight. What have you been seeing from him, and how can he step up with these guys out?
very talented goal scorer, and it doesn't take many opportunities for him to be able to make a real nice pass or finish in the net.
You said you wanted a high-energy checking game tonight. Do you think the team did that?
No, not even close.
Going into the next game, kind of what do you want to change? What do you want the mindset tomorrow? Quick turnaround.
Well, a great thing about sports is, especially in our league, you get to respond real quick. We didn't have a good enough effort tonight. We play tomorrow night at home, and we got to have a better effort. Thanks.
Were you aware of the fan that fell?
I was not aware.
There was a fan that fell for the upper level.
Oh, wow.
Just wondering if you unfair anything on the bench or anything.
Did not, and my thoughts and prayers are with that person who fell.
Thanks.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that was another thing that happened. I want to extend my thoughts to the person that fell. They're in critical condition, unfortunately. Man, stuff like that just makes you really upset. I mean, apparently they fell just off one of the balconies. So again, at the end of the day, sports, competitive. But what's most important is the safety of our community and our people in general. And I just want to extend all my thoughts and prayers to that said person. I'm hoping to see some good news on social media about them. So again, a really scary incident that took place. So I'm glad that a reporter did ask about that. I wish I could give credit to the reporter who asked. I don't know who it was. However, whoever did ask, I do commend this person for bringing this to just, the attention, just because, again, a really scary incident. Stop it. Sorry. For those on YouTube, you can see that my new cat, I have 2 cats. This one's Carmela. She keeps on playing with my outfit, so. Okay. Anyways, no hope. Yeah, I don't feel any hope or at all about this team. I don't feel good about this team, especially the way that last night went. So we're not doing good. Like, people say, "Oh my God, Haley, are we feeling blue?" And the answer is no. Like, we're feeling bad. We're feeling bad about this team. And I think that's another thing that does make me a little bit concerned is just the pure, pure kind of struggle that I'm having going back and forth between, do I want to be positive about them or do I feel like the season is over? I want to take you back to just a couple weeks ago, and I want you to listen to Coach Montgomery talk about this team only a few weeks ago, because you could tell how much it has changed. So I'm going to play like a minute of this.
How we doing? I'm good. I'm well. Had a great dinner last night. Went to Napoli. Have a dear close friend in from Boston/LA/Vegas. And my 2 sons came, and a couple of former players that live in St. Louis, so it was great.
How's Sonny doing today?
Sonny's doing well. He's going to be a player.
What can you kind of add to your fourth line?
Well, it's more what he adds to our team. He adds a warrior mentality. He's very hard to play against. He's hard in the hardest areas, whether it's walls or net fronts, offensively and defensively. And his detail, like, he has an exceptional defensive stick. So whether it's on the PK or it's in our own end, whether he's playing wing or he's playing down low, he kills.
So just to give you a little bit of the reason why I say this is when we had Sonny put back in again, we had positivity still. It wasn't all just negative. While they did play some bad games, I think it was really important for me to emphasize the difference in tone of voice between then and now. Then he was making jokes with the media. Now it's just like, yeah, this sucks. So again, no excuses, but that's what's going on with the guys. Now I'm going to talk to you about tonight's game. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately because if it was up to me, I would not have this team play just because I do not want to have to put up with another pathetic performance. But I don't make the rules, obviously. If I did, I would just tell the guys, I know it's the Frozen Frenzy day, I would say, hey, don't play any hockey. Well, they don't play anyways. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Yeah, so unfortunately, the Blues do play tonight. Listen, am I going to be negative? Absolutely. And I have reason to be negative considering what we're watching, right? And it is very unfortunate that they do have to play today. Like it really does suck, right? Anyways, I do want to talk a little bit about tonight's contest and why you should watch. Listen, I am going to be negative. This team is on a 4-game losing streak. They don't know how to win. They're doing really, 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 really bad. Oh, by the way, the national media is now emphasizing how bad the Blues are playing. So, if anything, it is just really embarrassing and not good hockey, okay? I am sorry. It is really bad hockey, and I am not at all pleased about what I have been seeing at all this season. I'm sorry. Haley's stressed and annoyed, and I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it. I don't feel good about tonight. They don't play well when they're at home. They don't play well when they're on the road. They don't play well at all. So that's that. I'm so stressed. Okay. So here's the thing. Obviously, we're not going to have a Jakey. We're not going to have our Tommy. So you might be wondering, Haley, who do we have? Well, not a lot of guys. Okay. Like, let's be so real. Not a lot of players are going to be able to play. So that means for me, I just see this as a loss as it is. But you know what? Anything can change. I don't believe that with this team. But I guess for some people, they might think that the Blues could pull off a miracle. I don't know. I think that this is going to be a really bad team overall. I don't see them improving. With that being said, I just don't see them winning tonight. And I feel badly for saying that, but I don't. And I think that the Red Wings, if anything, are probably with the advantage, right? And I think that's why, for me, I just feel like at this point you should call up Dvorsky. Unfortunately, though, I don't know if the organization is going to do that. But again, they should. It is some, and I love Blues Muse. We follow each other on Twitter at STL Blues Muse. And they put out a statistic about the Blues' goaltending this season. And it is the worst save percentage in the NHL. Like, that is an issue. So, I mean, they didn't put out any lines. I'm assuming it's going to be the same. Run it back, whatever. Pathetic, over it. But at the end of the day, not that I give up, but like, what else do you want me to say? Yeah, they're going to lose tonight. Like, I could talk about all the ways they're going to lose tonight. They're not going to show up defensively. They're not going to score. The goaltending will be an issue. They're not going to play with energy. Like, congratulations, Detroit. You basically got 2 points handed to you tonight. And if they win, then you know what? I'll be happy. But this team doesn't know how to win. So, therefore, I'm not happy. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And like always, because I do love this team, even though they drive me crazy, let's go Blues.